Hi guys, hope you're keeping warm and safe at home. I'm just going to do a quick little intro for you for today. We're going to be talking about stems, prefixes, and suffixes. So as you know, a stem is another word for a root word, which is a word that can stand alone, okay? It's a word that we say in everyday life and it doesn't need to be joined to a different word, okay? However, when we're talking about a prefix goes at the beginning of a word. Okay, if you think about primary school, you have pre-primary and then you have primary school. Okay, you've got to go to pre-primary before you go to primary. And it's the same with a prefix. Prefixes can't stand alone. So they go at the beginning of a word. Okay. Then you get the suffix, which is simply the opposite of a prefix, and it goes at the end of a word. So if I share, I'm going to share the screen with you now to some examples that I've made. Okay, so if you look here, we have the root or the stem word, which is legal. If we add IL to the beginning of the word, it becomes the prefix and it becomes illegal, which is still a word. However, if we break them up, okay, legal will still be a word, which is the stem or root word. However, IL is not a word. You do get ILL, which is ill or sick. However, when in this circumstance, IL is not the correct word. Okay. If we go and we add a suffix to it, then it becomes legally. Okay. The ly at the end transforms this word to a different word and becomes legally. Okay. Let's look at happy now. Happy is quite like a different word. We can add prefixes and suffixes to it. So if we look, we put UN at the beginning of the word and that became unhappy. All right. And if we changed it up and we put it at the end, we put ly at the end, it becomes a suffix. But now if you look, I have changed the Y for happy to I. Okay. So always remember when it comes to a word like this that you need to change the Y to an I and then add the ly at the end. If we add prefix and suffix to happy, and this is what's so significant about it, is you can add a prefix and a suffix to this word and it can still look the same. I mean, it can still create a word, a working word. So if we look, it goes unhappily. Okay. So un would be the prefix, happy would be the root word or stem word, and the ly would be the suffix. Okay. Now we're going to look at your activity for today. We're going to go into Google Chrome, and here it is. Okay. So these three blocks over here have the examples of what a prefix, a stem word, and a suffix is. I'm not going to read through them because I've basically just explained it. Prefixes go to the beginning of the word and they cannot stand alone. A stem word is basically a root word and they can stand alone and are a word in its own right. And then a suffix basically goes to the end of the word and then also cannot stand alone. Okay, so let's look at activity. For question 1, you're going to look at the word cook and you are going to tell us whether these words over here are a verb or a noun or both. So for example, cook would be a verb or a noun. Cook for a verb would be like, I'm going to cook dinner. However, the noun cook would be another word for a chef, which also becomes a noun. So for example, for 1A, we say cooks is a verb. So for example, my mom cooks dinner every evening. That would then be the verb cooks because she is doing that certain action. Okay, let's look at question 2. It says, write one sentence for each of the words above to show that you understand how to use them correctly. So like for example, cooks, like I said previously, my mom cooks dinner. Okay, that would be a correct answer for number 2. You will have to do obviously from A to G. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sentences in total. Okay. Then number 3 says choose another root or stem word and write out all the members of the word family formed by adding prefixes and suffixes. Draw a mind map like the one above. And this is what we are referring to over here, okay? So you've got to come up with your own root word or stem word, which will be placed in a block like this. And then you will add all the different words that you can think of by adding prefixes and suffixes. Try and choose a word that you can also find to add a prefix and a suffix at the same time, as a nice little challenge for you. Then remember, when you are writing those out, please make sure that you do highlight or underline or change the color so we can all see what you did to that word, whether you added a prefix or a suffix. Okay. Identify the stem in each of these words: hot, sitting, rubbing, and regrettable. Okay. What do you notice about the final letter of the stem when the suffix is added? Okay. So for example, hopped, hop would be your stem word because it can stand by itself, and PED would be your suffix because it's been added to the word and it cannot stand by itself. It can. It's creating it into a verb or an adverb or an adjective, etc. Okay. So when it says here, what do you notice about the final letter of the stem when the suffix is added? You need to go and look at that specific letter and tell us what is happening to those words. And you can only tell us that if you figure out what the stem or root word is. Okay. So that is the activity for today. And I hope you have a lovely day further. And thanks for sitting through this time with me. And yeah, see you later. Bye.